Let's keep it real. A vending machine business sounds simple when people talk about it online. Buy a machine, put it somewhere, fill it with snacks, collect the money. That sounds easy. But here's the truth. That oversimplified version is exactly why so many people waste money before they ever build real income. Because vending is not magic. A machine does not become profitable just because you plug it into a wall. A vending machine business only works when the decisions behind it make sense. The location has to make sense. The machine itself has to make sense. The products have to make sense. The numbers have to make sense. And most importantly, your timing has to make sense. That's why I created what I call the controlled income method. It is built around 3 steps: stabilize, install, verify. Those 3 steps may sound simple, but they can protect you from some expensive mistakes. Because when you're starting a vending machine business, the goal is not to look like you're building a business. The goal is to actually build one. And if you're a working professional, a parent, a caregiver, or someone who already has real life responsibilities, you can't afford to gamble with your stability just because someone online made vending look easy. So in this video, we're going to break down the controlled income method and why you should stabilize, install, and verify before you scale. A lot of people get introduced to vending through social media. They see someone opening a machine. They see cash inside. They see somebody talking about passive income. They see a machine in a nice looking location. And immediately they start thinking, I can do that. And maybe you can. But what you're not always seeing is the full picture. You're not seeing how much that machine costs. You're not seeing how long it took to get that location. You're not seeing the slow weeks. You're not seeing the products that expired. You're not seeing the customers who complained. You're not seeing the card reader issues. You're not seeing the service calls. You're not seeing the locations that look promising, but didn't perform. That's the part people leave out. And when that part gets left out, beginners start making decisions based on excitement instead of structure. They buy too fast. They spend too much. They choose a machine before they understand the location. They assume every location is a good location. They assume foot traffic automatically means sales. They assume vending is passive from the first day. That's when the trouble starts. Because vending can be a strong additional income stream, but it's still a business. And business requires discipline. You cannot approach vending like a lottery ticket and then be surprised the numbers don't work. The controlled income method is a practical framework for starting and managing a vending machine business with more discipline. It's not about rushing. It's not about hype. It's not about buying machines just to say you own machines. It's about creating additional income with structure. The method has 3 parts: stabilize, install, verify. Stabilize means you get your thinking, money, expectations, and plan under control before you buy. Install means you place a machine with intention based on the location, the customer base, the setup, and the operational details. Verify means you track the numbers before you assume the machine is successful or before you start scaling. That's the key. You don't scale based on hope. You scale based on evidence. The first step is stabilize. And this may be the most important step because this is where a lot of beginners make their first major mistake. They get excited before they get informed. They see vending as a shortcut to income, and they start spending before they understand what they're really getting into. Stabilizing means you slow down. You take a real look at your current situation. How much money can you responsibly invest? How much money can you afford to lose or tie up temporarily without causing stress in your household? Do you have savings? Do you have debt? Do you have dependents? Do you have a full-time job? Do you have time to restock and troubleshoot the machine? Do you have transportation? Are you prepared to deal with machine problems, product issues, and location communication? These questions matter because if you're a professional working full-time, or a parent trying to manage your household, or someone who is already carrying responsibilities, you don't need a business that throws your life into chaos. You need a business that fits inside your reality. And that requires control. Stabilizing also means getting honest about your expectations. Vending is not always fast money. Sometimes it takes time to find the right location. Sometimes a location that looks good does not produce. Sometimes the product mix needs to be changed. Sometimes the machine needs maintenance. Sometimes customers say they want something, but they don't actually buy it. This is real business. And real business is not always glamorous. But when you stabilize first, you make smarter decisions. You stop rushing. You stop buying from fear of missing out. You stop assuming every opportunity is a good opportunity. You become more selective. And that's powerful. Because in vending, the money you don't lose is just as important as the money you hope to make. For working professionals, stability matters even more. Many people who are interested in vending are not trying to quit their jobs tomorrow. They're trying to create additional income. They want more breathing room. They want more financial options. They want to build something outside of their paycheck. They want to explore business ownership without destroying the security they already have. That's a smart goal. But here's where people get it wrong. They confuse wanting more income with needing to make a risky move. You don't have to gamble your savings to prove that you're serious. You don't have to quit your job to prove you're an entrepreneur. You don't have to buy 3 machines before you've verified 1. You don't have to move fast just because other people are moving fast. Your business should support your life, not sabotage it. That is what the controlled income method is about. It's about building with discipline. After you stabilize, the next step is install. Now, most people think installation just means getting the machine delivered and plugged in. But installation is much bigger than that. Installation is the full setup of the business opportunity. It includes choosing the right machine, selecting the right location, planning inventory, making sure the machine has access to power, understanding the customer base, setting up payment options, and knowing who to contact when there's an issue. A vending machine in the wrong place is not an asset. It's an expensive decoration. So let's talk about location. A good vending location should have people who need convenience. That may include employees who can't easily leave during breaks. It may include residents in a building. It may include students. It may include customers waiting for service. It may include people working long shifts. But here's the important part. Foot traffic is not enough. Just because people walk past the machine does not mean they will buy from it. You need to understand the behavior of the people in that location. Do they have money available? Do they prefer cash or card? Do they want snacks, drinks, healthier options, or quick meals? Are they price sensitive? Are they allowed to leave the building? Are there nearby stores or cheaper options? Are they asking for vending because they truly need it or because it sounds nice in theory? This is where you have to think like a business owner. You're not just placing a machine. You're solving a convenience problem. Installing with intention means asking better questions before the machine goes in. Where will the machine be placed? Is the location visible? Is there an electrical outlet nearby? Is the machine secure? Can customers easily access it? Can you easily restock it? Who is the decision maker? Who handles complaints? What happens if the machine malfunctions? Are there building rules? Is insurance required? Is there a written agreement? Are there expectations around pricing, products, or commissions? These details matter. They may not be exciting, but they protect you. A lot of beginners focus only on getting the yes. They are so happy someone agreed to let them place a machine that they forget to ask the operational questions. That's a mistake. A yes is only valuable if the location can actually support the machine. You need clarity before installation, not after. Product selection is another part of installation. You can't just stock the machine with what you like. You have to stock it based on the people who are using the machine. A senior apartment building may not need the same product mix as a warehouse. An office may not need the same product mix as a school environment. A gym may not need the same product mix as a waiting room. The audience matters. You also have to watch for your pricing. Pricing too high can reduce sales. Pricing too low can destroy your margin. And copying someone else's prices without understanding your own costs is dangerous. The product cost, sales volume, restocking frequency, travel time, payment processing fees, and machine costs all matter. That's why vending is not just about snacks. It's about numbers. Once the machine is installed, the next step is verify. This is where real discipline begins. You can't assume a machine is profitable just because it has some sales. Sales are not the same as profit. Money coming into the machine is not the same as controlled income. You have to verify what is actually happening. That means tracking. What products are selling? What products are sitting? How often do you need to restock? How much inventory is expiring? How much gas and time it takes to service the location? Whether the machine is functioning properly, whether the card reader is working, whether customers are satisfied, whether sales justify keeping the machine at that location. This is the part that many people skip because they want to scale. They want another machine. They want another location. They want to say that they're expanding. But scaling without verification is how you multiply problems. If one machine is not performing well, adding more machines will not automatically make the business better. It may just create more expenses, more restocking, more service issues, and more stress. Verification keeps you honest. It tells you whether the business is actually working or whether you're just staying busy. And busy is not the goal. Profitable is the goal. Controlled is the goal. Before you scale, you need to verify several things. First, verify sales consistency. One good week does not mean the location is strong. You need to see patterns over time. Are people buying regularly? Are sales improving, declining, or staying flat? Are certain days stronger than others? Are certain products carrying the machine? Second, verify product performance. If a product is not selling, stop letting it take up space. Vending machine space is valuable. Every slot should have a purpose. Third, verify your true costs. This includes product costs, transaction fees, gas, time, repairs, inventory, waste, and anything else that affects the profit. Fourth, verify the location. Is management responsive? Are customers respectful of the machine? Are complaints reasonable? Is the location still supportive? Fifth, verify whether the location is worth your effort. Some locations may technically produce sales, but not enough to justify the work. That is an important distinction. A machine can make money and still not be worth keeping it in a spot. You have to look at the full picture. People scale too soon because scaling feels like success. It feels good to say you have multiple machines. It feels good to say you're expanding. It feels good to post about your growth. But growth without control is not success. It's exposure. If your first machine is not verified, your second machine may just double your confusion. If your product tracking is sloppy with one machine, it'll be worse with 5. If your location screening is weak with one machine, you may repeat that mistake again and again. If your cash flow is unclear with one machine, adding more will not magically make you more organized. You need systems before scale. You need proof before expansion. You need discipline before growth. That's the point of the controlled income method. One of the biggest reasons that I believe this method is because control creates options. When you know your numbers, you can make better decisions. When you know your location performance, you can decide whether to stay, adjust, or leave. When you understand your products, you can stop wasting money on inventory that doesn't move. When you understand your true profit, you can decide whether the business is worth expanding. That's power. And for working professionals, that kind of power matters because many people are not looking for chaos. They're looking for options. Options to earn more, options to breathe financially, options to build something outside of a paycheck, options to prepare for the future, options to create more flexibility without making reckless decisions. That is what controlled income is really about. It's not just about vending machines. It's about building something with discipline so you're not trapped by one source of income forever. Now let's talk about the word passive. Vending is often marketed as passive income. And maybe over time, with the right systems, the right locations, and the right support, it can become more passive than a traditional job. But in the beginning, vending is not passive. You are researching locations. You're contacting decision makers. You are comparing machines. You're buying inventory. You're stocking products. You're tracking sales. You're handling issues. You are learning what works and what doesn't work. That's active work. And there is nothing wrong with that. The problem is when people expect passive income before they've built an operational system. That expectation causes disappointment. So let's be honest. At the beginning, vending requires attention. But if you build it correctly, track it properly, and avoid unnecessary risk, it can become controlled income stream. Not fantasy income, controlled income. Starting small is not a failure. It's wisdom. One well-placed machine can teach you more than several poorly planned machines. Starting small gives you room to learn. You learn how to choose products. You learn how often to restock. You learn how to communicate with locations. You learn how customers behave. You learn what machine features matter. You learn what problems come up. You learn whether you actually like the business. That last one matters. Some people like the idea of vending more than the reality of vending. And that's okay. It's better to learn with that one control start than after spending thousands of dollars on multiple machines. You don't need to impress people with how fast you grow. You need to build something that makes sense. Slow, structured progress beats rushed, expensive confusion. Every time. The controlled income method is for people who want additional income, but they don't want to gamble with their financial stability. It's for professionals who want to explore business ownership while still working. It's for parents who need flexibility. It's for people who are responsible for more than just themselves. It's for beginners who want structure. It's for people who are tired of hype and want a practical way to evaluate vending. It's for people who want proof before they scale. It's not for people who want overnight success. It's not for people who want to skip the numbers. It's not for people who want to buy first and think later. It's not for people who want to chase income without discipline. Because vending can create income, but only when the decisions behind it are sound. Let's quickly go through some common beginner mistakes this method helps you avoid. Mistake number 1, buying a machine before securing or understanding a location. That can leave you with expensive equipment and nowhere profitable to place it. Mistake number 2, assuming all locations are good locations. They're not. Some locations look busy, but don't buy. Some locations ask for vending, but don't support the machine. Some locations want very low prices that may not work for your margins. Mistake number 3, ignoring the real cost of service. Your time matters. Your gas matters. Your inventory waste matters. Your repairs matter. If you only count the money collected and ignore the money spent, your numbers will fool you. Mistake number 4, scaling before tracking. You can't improve what you're not measuring, and you should not multiply what you haven't verified. Mistake number 5, believing vending is easy just because it's simple to understand. There's a difference between a simple concept and an easy business. Vending is simple to explain, but it still requires execution. Before you buy a vending machine, ask yourself, do I understand my target location? Do I know who will use the machine? Do I know what products they're likely to buy? Do I know the price range that makes sense? Do I understand the machine type that I need? Do I understand the cost of inventory? Do I know how I will track sales? Do I know how I will handle repairs? Do I know how often I can realistically restock? Do I have enough financial cushion to make this decision responsibly? These questions are not meant to scare you. They're meant to protect you, because the goal is not to stop you from starting. The goal is to help you start with control. The biggest shift you need to make is this. Stop thinking like a buyer. Start thinking like an operator. A buyer asks, what machine should I get? An operator asks, what problem am I solving? And will this location support profitable vending? A buyer asks, how fast can I get started? An operator asks, what information do I need before I spend the money? A buyer asks, how many machines can I get? An operator asks, can I verify this one before I scale? That mindset shift matters, because when you think like an operator, you make better decisions. You become less emotional. You become less reactive. You stop chasing shiny objects. You start building a business. The controlled income method is simple, but it's not shallow. Stabilize, install, verify. Stabilize before you spend. Install with intention. Verify before you scale. That's how you protect your money. That's how you reduce unnecessary risk. That's how you make better vending business decisions. And that's how you move from guessing to building. Because controlled income is not about chasing freedom blindly. It's about creating options with discipline. If you are interested in starting a vending machine business, but you don't want to rush into the wrong machine, the wrong location, or the wrong financial decision, I created the Control Start Checklist just for you. The Control Start Checklist is designed to help you slow down and think through the key decisions before you spend money. It's especially helpful if you're a working professional, a parent, or someone who wants to make additional income without gambling your stability. Use it to start thinking with more structure. Because before you buy, before you install, and definitely before you scale, you need to know whether the decision makes sense. Download the Control Start Checklist and begin your journey with control, numbers, and discipline.